It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today is the day that we show you a celebration beer, a Christmas celebration beer from Sainsbury's. Now, Sainsbury's bring this beer out every year. It's either beginning of November or late October, and it's a winter seasonal, a Christmas seasonal beer that they bring out to celebrate the winter months. A winter warmer, a proper celebration beer. Here's a look at it. It's part of their Taste the Difference range. This cost me £4 for the bottle. I try and review these beers every year. You'll probably see a review of this last year. The label has changed this year. It looks different. Now, the beer's been brewed by Arques it's from Arques in France, so it's a French brewed beer. I understand that when these beers first come out many moons ago, they were brewed in the UK, but they've taken the brew into France. Now, the reason why they probably do this is they want to hold this beer at a reasonable price. I think £4 for this beer is, as long as the liquid's good, it's smashing. This is about the experience. This is about a beer being 7.9% ABV in a 750 milliliter bottle. It's a nice dark bottle. It's got a nice cork and a cage. And this is about an experience. And sometimes when a beer becomes an experience, when it's in a nice presentation, basically, the way the beer presents itself, you think you're spending £4, or you are spending £4 on a bottle of beer here. Let's face it. Let's be perfectly honest. There's some craft brewers that are selling cans of craft beer in Tesco's and Sainsbury's and Morrison's and whatnot for £4 a can anyway. And that's 440 millilitres. This is about the cork and the cage. This is about the presentation of the bottle and the fact that, yes, it's £4 a bottle, but it seems like you're having something really special for that £4 of your money. And that's the point here. It feels like you're having something a bit special for that £4 you pay for the beer. So without further ado, let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. I'm just going to dry my hands. The beer's been out the fridge about 40 minutes. The reason why I get the beer out of the fridge for about 40 minutes is I want to taste the flavours on the beer. I don't want to be drinking this freezing cold. Look at the smoke! Beer de tradition. So this is a little bit of French quality put into Sainsbury's for £4 a bottle. There we go. Three finger, slightly off-white head, good levels of carbonation, an amber beer in the glass. It's very, very good. Let's get the aroma. Clear amber colour. There's no haze in there whatsoever. But let's get the aroma on the beer. It's herbal, it's peppery and spicy, it's herbal. It's not, I honestly think Leffe's probably, or the old Leffe, not the new Leffe. The old Leffe that you used to be able to buy in the UK, the 6.6% ABV Leffe, would probably have a little bit more of an aroma coming through. Now, this is definitely a blonde beer. You do get hints of kind of banana and pineapple. But that's coming from the yeast in the beer. A little bit of crisp malt, a little bit of black pepper, peppery spiciness on the back end. Let's dive in, let's try it. Cheers, everybody. I think everything's relative. Everything is pretty relevant here. Everything is pretty relative and relevant here. It's a beer that it's pardon me. It's got a lovely floral finish. It's got a lovely floral, peppery, spicy finish. I always put myself in a position that I always try to put myself in a position of, if I've reviewed over 10,000 beers, well over 10,000 beers in my life, and that's not a normal thing. That is not a normal thing to do, to review and jot down 10,000 different beers, especially on a YouTube channel. The normal person don't do that. The normal person goes into the supermarket, they see the bottle, they buy it, they see the cork and the cage, they pick it up and they want to enjoy an experience. And I always try and put my feet in the shoes of that person who spent £4 on a beer, cork and cage. What are they going to think about it? And I always go back to when I first started drinking bottled beer. I first started drinking beers from a spa when I first met my wife. I moved to the other end of Barry and I was buying bottles of Golden Champion by Badger. And I was like, what's this? This is like completely different from anything I've ever tried. And I remember drinking those, and I remember the experience. And I was saving them. I was putting the bottles all over the unit like I used to do. And I was like, this is just fantastic and wonderful. And in that light, like somebody who doesn't take beer too seriously, but they like to drink a good drop of beer, they can have that same similar experience with this. They're going to get that same kind of like floral, like, oh, that's different. That's quite nice. There's a bit of sweet malt in there. It's herbal, it's peppery, it's spicy, it's slightly dry. It's hoppy. There's a bit of pineapple and banana probably coming from the hops, and the banana coming a little bit from the yeast there. And it's enough. This is the point, it's enough. It's enough for your casual beer drinker to be going, hey, this is something different, this is something good, this is something that I would buy again. However, as somebody who's drank 10,000 beers, I'm always striving for more. I'm always wanting something to be. So now that I've elevated, wrong word, I haven't elevated. Now that I've drank 10,000 beers, and now that I've judged, and now that I think slightly differently these days, I think, why not charge £8 for this beer? Why not charge £8 for this cork and cage beer, but change the liquid? Make the liquid more powerful. Give it more banana, give it more pineapple, give it more dryness. Just pump it up a bit. Just elevate things more. Because this is probably drinking something similar to perhaps what Aldi might bring out with their Grand Cru. That's another beer that's been brewed in France. Very similar. Or, dare I say it, kind of like a Leffe that is now 6% and not 6.6% anymore. It's just slightly lacking. It could just do a little bit more in certain areas. But again, for £4 a bottle, it's perfectly fine liquid. It really is. There's no off flavours. There's good lacing on the glass. The general person in the street, and I'm talking about like what I spoke about earlier on, they're generally going to like this. They're going to think they're drinking something kind of quite crafty and quite nice. And that's probably what Sainsbury's were looking at. That's what they were trying to achieve. And they've probably achieved it for that £4 price point. So although I might have some little misgivings about this beer, I think it should be amplified just a little bit more. For a £4 bottle of beer at 7.9% ABV, it's kind of like, yeah, people are going to be thinking they're drinking something a bit, and the cork and the cage will spellbind a certain amount of people. They'll get spellbound by that anyway. So liquid, just looking purely at the liquid, for £4 the bottle, for the bottle, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.